Okay. And so we're back, as the song goes. Anyway, so we want to say hello to well, you know what, MJ. I don't even know your last name.
Green like color. Green like money.
I like it. That goes with our sign over there, by the way.
Well,
Money never sleeps.
That never does.
Money never sleeps. So we're here with MJ Green. MJ, why don't you give us your title and position for the Downtown Development Authority?
Sure. So I'm Michael John Green. I am the Chief of Economic Development and Strategy for the Miami DDA, which is a quasi-governmental entity set up by the city of Miami to really spur economic development in Brickell, downtown, the arts and entertainment district, and a little bit of Edgewater.
And how long has the DDA been alive?
Now you're asking me the tough questions. The DDA is definitely over 20 years old. The DDA has been around for a long time, before Brickell was Brickell and before the Bright Line was there, and really has been spurring a lot of the economic development in that area and helping create the amazing and one-of-a-kind skyline that we have here in Miami.
Well, listen, I think the important thing about the DDA is a lot of people, again, I try and give information and informative to people that to understand, okay, all right, is that the job of the cities? But within the city, they create these authorities.
Yeah.
You have the CRA,
Yep.
You have the Bayfront Park, all these entities that are done because I feel that the city says, well, we like to make these entities so they're more responsible in trying to create jobs. They're trying to bring in more businesses as well. And, maybe the politicians can, govern and then give this responsibility to people like the DDA and everything to occupy themselves to bring in.
Everybody needs help, right? You have a basketball team or a football team. Right. Quarterbacks have quarterback coaches. Point guards have ball handling and shooting coaches.
That's a great example.
And so the DDA is really kind of that extra arm, not only set up by the city of Miami, but also the state of Florida to really, again, push economic development. The beach has always been an extremely popular spot for Miami-Dade County. But as Miami has continued to move from this kind of, I think, service-based entertainment economic engine to really a global business hub, the DDA is really charged with continuing to spur that kind of global business development. And that includes all of the fun and entertainment things that we've known in the past, but also helping to support companies like Citadel, Kaseya, and some of the other ones that we bring to town, but continue to grow, right? And continue to offer jobs for the interns and for the folks graduating college. But, Miami has moved from no longer, I think, just known as the gateway to Latin America, but this global business hub. And that's, I think, what I'm most excited about at the DDA is to continue to make, downtown Miami this amazing place where not only are you having the beautiful fun and sun, but also really able to do business and business continue to come to that area.
Well, I mean, I'm glad you put that up because everybody says, all right, downtown, you go to all these, states and everything. Oh, you go to the downtown area and everybody, the downtown area. I know that our downtown is going through that whole, rehab, let's call it, rehabilitation. I know that there's all these construction still going on. That's been there for a little while. Do we have an update on that? Like, do you know anything about the whole thing of is Flagler going to be Flagler again?
Well, Flagler has this, amazing history, right? First Street in Miami, Henry Flagler, Julia Tuttle, two of the real pioneers here. And we're working on that. I think Julian Henry has done a great job. Flagler Street is getting closer and closer to finally being finished and open. And that's kind of, our grant programs and some of the other things that we do. We want to breathe that life back into it. Back in the day, Flagler was where you went to shop. Flagler was where things really happened and brought those things together.
There was a Woolworth there, by the way.
Yeah.
Burdines?
Burdines, Woolworth. Yeah. I mean, my parents, when they came to this country, they would go to downtown area.
Everybody.
We
still have 500,000 people that get off cruise ships every single month in that area looking for things to do. And so our goal is really to bring that back and to bring that, connect the shopping. You have Brickell City Center, which I think is one of the architecturally most beautiful malls in America, right? You've got downtown, and you've got Miami World Center. You continue to go. You've got Wynwood, and you've got Design District in Midtown, and really being able to connect all of that, and downtown really being where a little bit more of the cultural epicenter, right? Keeping some of the things that are truly Miami. We're looking to work with a lot of independent boutiques and really bring that flavor that people are really looking for to shop in Miami and connect all of that.
It's what people want. People, get down there. Where's the downtown area? Everybody wants to deal. You go out of country or whatever. You go to the Bahamas. You go to the downtown area. The little jewelry store. You go here. You go there. That's what people are looking for. Now, at the end of the day, I know that one of the biggest things that you guys have done also with DDA is really help all those. Could we say not mom and pops, but those people that say, I want to do a business now. I don't have this huge company, but you guys really step in and help those people, right?
Yeah, we have a couple grant programs on the retail level. We have a retail grant that's $50,000 for people to open up ground floor retail businesses.
That's great.
30 days after you open, we give you a check for $50,000. We help you out with the permit process. We have one of my favorites. We have an entrepreneur, Flagler Vintage, which is opened up on Flagler Street. The guy started his business with, and I might mess up this story for him, but about $100, and continued to grow that, selling vintage clothes online over and over and over and over.
That's hot right now.
Yeah, so he's huge, and he does a great job. He just had his grand opening party maybe about less than a month ago. But he's right there on Flagler and really continue to support those homegrown entrepreneurs that are here. Miami is full of amazing entrepreneurs. I always say that Miami, I think, is the quintessential American dream, which is all these entrepreneurs from all over the world coming somewhere to be successful.
Yeah, I'm about to see if I get Frank Sinatra back, and I'm going to change the song from if you can make it in New York, you can make it anywhere. I'm going to go ahead and change it. If you can make it in Miami, you can make it anywhere.
100%. I like that. We need that.
It sure feels like that. Everybody here has 2 or 3 jobs, side hustle.
I think we're going to change the song.
Yeah.
Because I call this, I always say Miami, USA.
Yep.
I think we're own, I feel like we're our own country here because
100%.
Everything's crazy here.
So me growing up, I went a lot to Coconut Grove,
Yep.
Sunset Place, which is now going through its issues. As my early 20s, I saw Wynwood blow up.
Mm-hmm.
But downtown for me was never really like a spot to go to at that time. And when we would drive by there, whenever you're going to Bayside, which had its heyday at one point, and I think now it's coming back as well. A lot of the stores, and I always questioned why, and eventually I understood it was because of the cruise terminals as you get older, was like luggage and like random stores that like I feel like locals wouldn't go to. Not too long ago, like last month, my sister came into town and I went to Julian Henry's, which for the first time I've been there because I always thought it was going to be packed. Beautiful place. And then they also, in the front, they had little vendors, like a little vendor shop. And as I walked through, you guys have done a great job.
Sunday market,
Super nice. You guys have done a great job replacing those like outdated businesses that I didn't even know how they were surviving there. And you obviously had the whole homeless situation for nice, like trendy spots. And I would see these brunch places with like a 2-hour wait outside. So very, very impressive to see that.
I think we have this amazing moment that I'm really excited about is for people that have lived here their entire lives, the people that are somewhat new, to rediscover downtown. Julian Henry's is absolutely amazing. We have Fortezzi's Pizza, which is going to open up, Jerk, which is a little bit further up on Flagler Street, but just a bunch of amazing new concepts that are coming that I think people get the opportunity to really like re-engage. The goal is to bring people back downtown like they were many, many moons ago, shopping, enjoying themselves, and to mix that with the tourists that we have. And downtown is beautiful with the park and everything like that.
But then another situation that I hear, well, one thing I heard recently on the news was that I think that's the top floor of Julian Henry's. They're going to turn that into like some vendor village now and remove the restaurants.
So on Sundays, they always had or on Sundays recently, we've had the vintage flea market, right?
Yeah.
Magic City Flea, which is really successful. A lot of people know about it. A lot of people come downtown for that. They're going to take some of those vendors and then put them on the 3rd floor of Julian Henry. So Julian Henry will turn into not only a food hall, but you'll also be able to do some shopping. We have more cranes in Miami-Dade County than the entire state of California. And so with more and more people of a variety of different ages living in the DDA district, the opportunity I always talk about opportunity for transactions, I think from an economic development standpoint, for the small business, how many opportunities do you really have for someone to walk in there and spend money? Downtown, Brickell, the entire DDA district has an amazing opportunity for transactions. And I think that by bringing some of those stores inside will only continue, hopefully, the great growth for Julian Henry.
Growing up again, and as Eddie was telling you, I worked in downtown. So I was, when I was back in commission, I used to be in downtown, and in the building over there. And my whole walk was all downtown. I mean, I would go to lunch, I would do shopping, everything. And people would always say, how do you deal with that? Because the one way over here, one way over here. People are doing it. My wife can't go there. And last time she went there, I think she left her car somewhere, and she called me. I'm having a nervous breakdown because I think I'm in a one way. I don't know what to do.
Yeah.
So, it makes it, a little bit easier, a little harder. But I really want to shout out a lot of people that started downtown, because everybody had the illusion of downtown, and what you guys are doing is great. Like Nathan Rock was one of the, biggest pioneers of downtown area, and, bringing the shopping centers and bringing, iconic here is the Sable Building.
Yeah.
Hidden
gem that people don't, I think we're working on.
Wait, what building?
The Sable Building, which
we have a diamond district.
That's our own diamond district.
I didn't know that.
Oh yeah, my favorite place in all of Miami is the
I
Sable
eat lunch there often, and I have seen Floyd Mayweather at least 5 times in there.
No way.
Oh yeah.
Of course.
Damn, I didn't know
The hidden gems. You got to come back downtown and discover. Even Julie and Henry, right? We're talking about 3-story food hall that will eventually have shopping on top. But there's a Michelin star restaurant, Maximo Batura. I think he's like, there's 3 chefs that are the top 3 chefs. He's 1 or 2 of those 3 chefs and has a restaurant on top. And then Space 11 and David Sinopoli have a club on the bottom. What building has a Michelin star chef on the roof, a Michelin ramen place, shopping,
I ate that
and then a
place.
club? Yeah, the ramen's amazing. Yeah,
amazing.
Yeah,
Adult club.
Yeah.
It's crazy. All in one.
all in one.
It's like, one can shop, one can view.
They also had Giselle. Have you been to Giselle or no?
I have.
You know Alan Roth?
I do not. Alan Roth
Great
is a
guy.
good
Great guy. The one of the owners of Giselle. But at the same time, I will tell you that I am very, very much into the fact of what you say, that a lot of people should go to downtown. People should go to downtown and experience it.
Yeah.
And see it for themselves. A lot of people don't go because to tell you the truth, some people are like, oh,
But
I don't want to go downtown area.
You know what I was going to tell you?
There's so many great stuff over there.
One of the things that we've noticed, and we've talked about Doral, Brickell, et cetera, and something consistent in the comments all the time is the parking.
Sure.
Yeah.
People hate not only the parking, they say it's $20, $30, $40 for 2 hours, 3 hours. And I didn't realize how important that was to people, like that they would complain so much about that. Like to us, it's like, whatever, you go park and that's it. But it's like a big, big hurdle for some people. Do you guys have anything like in the future plans to assist with parking or public transportation?
We work with the Parking Authority a lot. The DDA has put millions of dollars into a freebie, which a lot of people don't know about and use. We've got to do a little bit of better job of getting that information out there. But the freebie is an electric golf cart that will take you, all throughout downtown, right? So you can park somewhere else and it's hot and take that around and drop you off for your meetings, for lunch, or whatever that might be. Downtown, and when we say downtown, I think it also gets a little confusing. People, when you think of downtown, I think most Miamians think the Central Business District. When I say downtown, I think about the entirety of the DDA district, right? So that's Brickell, that's the Central Business District, Arts and Entertainment, which is where the Heat Stadium, the PAM, and Miami World Center is,
right,
and then a little bit of Edgewater. But that's where all of the mass
Bayside
transit is.
too, or no?
Bayside, of course.
Bayside,
of course. That's where all of the mass transit is, right?
But wait,
So
the freebie, sorry to cut you off, the freebie goes all the way to Brickell, downtown, and up north, or no?
Yes.
Oh, I didn't know.
Yeah.
I didn't know.
So you can hop on there, take that around. Free, nice, easy ride. There's also even a Tesla that you can order that will pick you up and take you around as well. But then you've got the Metro Mover, you've got the Bright Line, and then also the Tri-Rail.
Yeah, the other thing that I heard in the comments was too, that was egregious in South Miami, which I was experiencing it, was not only the parking situation, they're saying that the how fast that they would give you parking tickets. So people are like, they want us to come here, spend our money, but we park and you're over 2-3 minutes. Boom, they're giving you a ticket. They're giving you a ticket. How aggressive? Like, do you guys control how aggressive these? I know, but like, it's comments that people are, and I it made sense to me. I was like, well, I guess that's true. You miss your parking by 10 minutes, and they're just immediately giving you tickets. So it's like, are they starving for money, or what's going on there?
No, so there's a variety of different types of economic development agencies, right? The DDA is an agency that doesn't own any property. We don't necessarily own that area entirely, right? And so therefore, we don't control the parking.
Gotcha.
But we are trying to work with our different parking vendors to be able to provide affordable spaces. On our website, we have where you can park and try to find parking. And then also, again, I mentioned the freebie, so that allows you to maybe park a little bit further out, park in a garage that is a little bit more affordable. But I highly encourage people, when you're thinking about discovering downtown or the DDA district again, I'm really excited about the underline, right? And so for the folks in the Grove and different things like that, you can ride your bike or
Yeah.
walk, right? As I think one of the things is we're really trying to push, I think Miami has a real opportunity to lead in longevity and just really be this amazing, healthy city that it already really kind of is, right? And as the highway and the construction that they're doing there connects to the Underline and the Baywalk, being able to walk that whole area. And I think as more and more people continue to move down there, I mentioned the cranes, that this will really that is the most walkable area
100%.
in all of Miami-Dade County, right?
Yeah.
And so it's a little bit of a mix.
Huh?
Coral Gables?
Well, I mean, let me
With
tell you.
the mass transit, right?
Well, you're talking about two different things.
Yeah.
I mean, in we talk about this always in the program. You have the Gables, you have Kendall, you have the Grove. If you live in the Grove area, everybody's going to be walking around the Grove.
That's true.
But when you're in downtown, I just brought up, when I used to work in the commission, I would walk.
Yep.
You didn't get a car again. Are you crazy? You're not going to be going all over those streets. So all that area, to his point, everybody's walking. Listen, in my time, there was a water taxi, which was great.
Yeah.
You know?
That's another thing, too, that someone mentioned. We talked about that in the Suarez episode, and he said that they were going to create, I guess, for the World Cup coming in, they were going to have water taxis, and our Basel comes in, too, with that traffic that comes
Well, they were
down.
talking about something about they were trying to do like a ferry or something.
Like a ferry.
To pick up from certain areas to take to the beach.
Yeah.
I don't know how they're going to do that, but
The DDA helps a lot in some of that master planning. Obviously, parking and different
Yes.
things like that are something that we think about in trying to make those appropriate relationships. A water taxi and those conversations have been things that we're a part of. There have been water taxis before in the past, but boats are expensive, as we all know, and maintenance. I think that we're still trying to figure out what is the best way to get people back and forth. Right, the Metro Mover is supposed to go to the beach in the future and go right past the PAM and continue along, right?
Nice.
And that's nice. I think that it's really about. Some of it is changing a little bit of the culture that, this is Florida, which is still very car heavy, very car centric, right? I think that the stadium, here's maybe one of my hot takes. The stadium, the soccer stadium, is going to get more and more people used to taking Tri-Rail.
you're going to have
Because you're not going to be able to get to the airport.
you're going to have
On a
to.
Friday night, there's a heat
100%.
game, there's a soccer game, there's something at the PAM.
Yeah.
You got to take that Tri-Rail. So I think getting people used to it and getting people comfortable. I mean, if you live in the Coconut Grove, Coral Gables, Pinecrest, Tri-Rail's right there, and it brings you right to downtown. And then you can take the Metro Mover or wherever else you want to be able to get around. And really, I think it's connecting all of that. We have some, we continue to have those conversations with our political leaders about, Miami Central Station. I think the Bright Line has done a really great job and that as a hub, but we need to do better to connect that to the rest of Miami. And I think that will ease some of the traffic issues, but also give people more time to enjoy, shop, and explore all of the DDA district.
I know that you have Miami Dade College there,
Mm-hmm.
right? How big is it to have that college in downtown? I mean, it just continues to grow and grow and grow. People underestimate
I
the
can't
power of
say
that college.
enough good things about Miami Dade College, from not only the opportunity that has brought people here in Miami, from its leadership, but I mean, you're talking about the largest and the most diverse college in the United States. That's a feather in the cap of everybody in Miami-Dade County. And I would even really say, honestly, the state of Florida, and the opportunity for education, which I think that we all know is hugely important, and what that has brought to people in Miami from a variety of different backgrounds, I think is hugely important. And the DDA has continuously supported the college. We put $1 million and change into the AI school, and that's the first college in America
that's
AI school.
Yeah.
So you talk about technology, and I think, some of the things we don't beat our chest and say, the DDA did this, the DDA did that. But I mean, those things have a reverberating impact for years and years to come, right? We all know how important AI is, and for that diverse college to be able to have that program, I think that has a really amazing impact for AI in the future. And we're extremely proud to be able to support that and continue to support it with conferences, events, and other things. So I think, Miami-Dade College is just absolutely amazing and truly a gem here.
Well, it's a beautiful campus.
Yeah.
You have everything at your footsteps. You just walk around and just go wherever you want to go. It's not like the one in Kendall where it's a little bit more isolated.
Well, but to his point, I mean, you also have that whole area of the arts.
Yeah.
For the people who love the arts, there's a great school.
Yeah.
In the downtown area. What's that school called? That one in the arts.
I think
Did they close that one down?
I think they closed down the
Oh, that was in
design something. Like Biscayne.
Yeah, it did leave, but you still got the PAM. You still got a lot of the programming, the Adrian Arts Center, all those different things. Still,
I didn't know that they had Pam and them have programming and stuff.
Yeah, they have stuff for kids and families and tons of events. We've got the Frost Museum there that has a lot of stuff. I just saw a gazillion kids. I was speaking there a week or so ago, and there was a gazillion kids coming in there, and they looked extremely excited.
I have a question for you, and I know this is a hot take and a hot topic every time it comes, every year. And I wanted to get your own opinion on it because I see conflicting opinions when it does happen. Ultra Music Festival.
Yeah.
It comes into town. I'm sure the businesses love it. The hotels love it. The residents don't seem that inclined. I've gone to Ultras when I was young. I used to go when they were at the Frost Museum and the PAM section before that was even there, which is, I think it was called Bayfront Park at that time. Is it still called Bayfront Park? No.
Yeah.
It's still called.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I want to.
Well, it's called the Maurice Ferre Park, but
Well, that's further down.
Yeah.
It's a little confusing, but
it's
all
compared.
amazing.
Yeah.
Park.
Okay. Anyways,
yeah,
I wanted
it's
to get
Bayfront.
your opinion on what the local businesses say about not only Ultra coming to town, but like these big events that come to town. Is it something that they're for? Do they like it? Do they not?
I can't speak for every individual business owner or resident, but this is what I will say. People come to Miami for a reason in a variety of different events, right? People coming, they spend money, they add to the economic vitality here,
Yes.
they increase the property rates. Ultra Music Festival in Miami is one of the most successful, if not the most successful
100%.
music festival in the world. The money that is spent, the hotels, all those hotels are connected to a variety of different jobs. The restaurants. I mean, I think that one thing that's where we might be in a little bit of a maybe to add on to your hot take. I'm a firm believer that you cannot turn your nose at the power of entertainment as an economic generator. That is huge for Miami. F1 in Miami is completely different than F1 in Las Vegas. Totally different thing, right?
Yeah.
What that has done for the restaurants here, what that's done for the scene here. And there's a reverberating effect when people say XYZ event is in Miami. People hear that from around the world. And if you don't think that that adds to the value of your condo, of your business, of your building, I think that you are wrong. And I think that there are numbers that show that. Is there a lot of people? Yes. Is there traffic? Yes. But show me a great city in the world that doesn't have traffic.
Yeah, that's true.
But to your point, that's part of Miami. And the fact is, if the people are going to move here, they have to know that you now are in the city that everybody wants to be in. So obviously, all these things are going to be here.
And you know what's crazy?
I mean,
if you travel the world, it's not even that bad. You go to places like Bogota and Bangkok, the traffic's way, way, way worse. The roads aren't even at least for
New
the
York,
roads.
LA.
Yeah, it's not even that bad.
I mean, but again, if you come into Miami, you know you're going to be. If people say to your point, oh, but the residents, well, but you live here. This is what you chose, or this is what you like. You know, this is what Miami's all about. And at the same time,
as a small business owner, how all you can really ask for is the people wanting to come to a place and spend money. I think that it is amazing as a small business owner to be able to have a business that maybe is 50% tourists and 50% locals. You're not just relying on someone. You know, I think that that's really exciting. That's what makes this place exciting. That's why people continue to come back.
So MJ, here I'm going to go with this question now. What can you tell our viewers? Why come open? You know, should we come and talk to the DDA if I'm interested in opening a store in downtown Miami or an area downtown Miami? What can we tell that entrepreneur out there that says, hey, take a chance on us and you know, let the DDA help you with your dream store that you want to open up?
Yeah. What I would say is that the DDA is, you know, really here to help. And that's not only, you know, putting our money where our mouth is with our incentive programs, right? We incentivize startups, we incentivize ground floor retail, and then people moving into more traditional office space. But also the DDA district, again, the diversity in Miami. I think a lot of times we think about diversity in people or race or something like that, but also diversity in age, in wealth. You know, the DDA district has, you know, 6-figure, under 40 working folks, but then also with the Waldorf Astoria, the Aston Martin building, you've got these high wealth as well, along with a college, along with 500,000 people getting off cruise ships every single month. If you're thinking about a place where your business can be successful, I mean, that's your Venn diagram of success right there. And the DDA is going to help you out with the permits, We're going to help you out with events.
Which, by the way, that's a huge, huge advantage.
Our permit clinic is open
Help with the permits.
every single Thursday from 9 to 2 on Flagler Street. Our permit clinic has folks from the county, the city, Durham, and everything else to be able to answer those questions.
I think that's a wonderful idea.
Time is money, and being able to save our amazing entrepreneurs that time, I think, adds to their bottom line and helping them get open quite a bit faster.
I was going to ask you how, because I'm looking at this stuff right here. I mean, they're not lying. They give you some nice money here. How many applications? How many applications? You have great incentives. How many applications do you usually get, and what's like the % of approval rate? Is it like really complex? Because a lot of people see these grants and it's like, forget about it. I'm not even going to try. Because I could see how someone can get.
I'm not going to waste my time.
It is, for the majority of the grants, this simple. You find a place, you fill out our application, you fill out the application before you sign the lease. You find a place, we help you out with that. After you open, 30 days. There's a check cut for you, and we support you with a grand opening party. You have to sign at least a 3-year lease. But as we know, most places are going to probably try to get you to sign a 5, 10, or even more.
That's a good point.
More recently, I think that Miami has had this amazing explosion in food and beverage.
Yeah.
We're often, because we know there's some additional expenses to that for food and beverage concepts, come into the DDA district up to $75,000 in a grant. 30 days after they open, again, we're going to help you with the permits. We have a facade and a lighting program, so you can possibly get up to $100,000 or even $125,000 to fix up the front and to open up a space.
That's a good chunk of money.
Oh, I got to tell our landlord here. Might move the office downtown.
Come on down. We would love to have you guys.
But listen,
the door is always open. I always tell him. I don't know why he keeps on always throwing things at me.
Listen, and if you guys want, you can include whenever they have an opening. Maybe we can have a day in Miami out there too to support them.
Oh yeah, I would love that. Yeah, I would love that. And then also too, I think we've seen startups, right? And so we are doing a call to startups around the world. If you want to bring your idea to Miami, if you want to be around all this capital that continues to circulate in Miami, wherever you are in the world, we're willing to work with you and incentivize you to come work out of some of the amazing co-working spaces that we have within the district as well.
Listen, I always say the biggest purpose that we did with the Day in Miami was to recognize everything that happens in Miami. And we always thought that there was a hole for that because, people can't get it all on the radio. You can't get it on television. A newscast can go out there for 2 seconds. It's just, but with our podcast, our biggest thing was let's give light to all those places that are in Miami that people don't even know about. Businesses that people don't even know about. And this is why I think this is fabulous because there's a lot of people out there that want to do something, but they're scared. They may not have the full amount of money.
Right.
They have the idea, they have the contact, they have the manufacturer to close or whatever, but they say, I don't have that $25,000 or $30,000 or $50,000 that I can start something. And I think this is excellent, the fact that, we're shedding light on what the DDA does. Because I tell you, you can go down a street and ask people, do you know what the Development Authority does? What the hell is that? Right. Nobody knows. And again, that's part of our programming is always to shed light to a lot of these places that people do not know exist in Miami. And I love the fact that when we get comments back of people saying, wow, I can't believe that. We're like all those people. Yeah. I've been trying to do that for 2 years or 3 years. One always assumes. I always say you can't assume. You got to go and try and figure this out.
Yeah.
So I listen.
But I like this here. I'm looking through some notes here. And you have something that's the Downtown Creative Collaborator Grant.
Yeah.
Okay. Starting July 1st. So people have plenty of time to get ready, right? Help creative visionaries and cultural institutions bring programming activations to downtown. Can you shed a little bit of light on that?
Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up. So economic development is a holistic thing to me, right? And again, I said we don't want to shy away from the entertainment aspect and bringing people here. The Downtown Creative Collaborator Grants is one of the great ways that we support. I mean, we have some of the greatest operators when it comes to events and different things like that, to be able to support them with dollars to bring those events to downtown, whether that's the Miami Film Festival, whether you're looking at having some type of cultural event, whether that's, Haitian Flag Day or whatever that might be. Maybe about 70, 80 people last year applied for those grants, and like 86% of those people received money for those dollars, right, or for those events. And so I think that for folks that if you want to do a bachata night downtown, if you want to do a rollerblading night, if you want to do a dominoes night in the district.
Wow, you gave us an idea.
Yeah, we're here to support that.
We can talk to our guys.
We want to bring people, again, it's about, rediscovering the district in a different way. Yeah. But it's also about Miami is nothing without the people. Miami is nothing without the entrepreneurs. We want to support those ideas. The DDA isn't here to create every single idea or every single thing. We want to work with the people to be able to bring those things to fruition. And we have some of the greatest entrepreneurs in those type of entertainment spaces in the world. I mean, that's why Miami is Miami, right? You know, you think about whether that's the clubs, the parties, or whatever that might be, or Ultra, those are people from Miami that came up with those ideas, right? And we want to continue to support the legacy folks that have been doing those things for forever. But also we have these amazing new, you know, now I guess I'm old enough to say young people because I've got some gray hair.
Yeah.
But we have these amazing young people that
want to calling us young.
I got great hair already too, man.
That have these amazing ideas, and we want to support them. The Flagler, the Magic City Flea, all of those types of entrepreneurs or people with ideas, we want them to bring them to the district and feel comfortable that they have a place to have a conference, to have an event, to have a party. And we have dollars to be able to support that. And in July, the 1st, that's when that application opens. And so I really recommend people check out the website, www.miamidda.com, and then definitely apply for that.
Well, we're going to put the website down there so people can see it.
I mean, I got more if you want to
go ahead. Go.
Okay, so this is another one I like here that your team sent to us, which I didn't even know about this. So I think it's very important to talk about the Quality of Life Initiative. Okay, so you guys are have a program to give people second chances?
Oh, man, yeah. I think that's amazing. If you walk around downtown Miami and you'll see people in bright orange or bright blue T-shirts or jackets, all of those folks are part of the blue, is our debt team, and then the orange are our ambassadors. If you are a young lady and for whatever reason you don't feel safe and want to walk to your car, there's a number that you can call, and a guy with an umbrella and an orange shirt will show up and walk you to your car and make you safe.
That's amazing.
For the 500,000 people that get off cruise ships, again, this is a real true global economy that we have here in Miami. There are people that speak multiple different languages. They don't know where to go.
100%.
Those ambassadors help them with directions. They give them towels. They have fans, whatever you need. The debt team cleans up graffiti, the streets, all of those different things to keep it beautiful. But they are all, we're talking about 70 people, maybe even 90, that are formerly homeless people. And so you talk about putting your money where your mouth is.
Wow, that's amazing.
The DDA is literally giving people who once were living unhoused on the streets somewhere in Miami opportunities for a job, and then to be a part of the community and, you know, help out those other individuals. They do homeless outreach, and so they help some of the individuals that are having a difficult times, who are, you know, really true, still a fabric of our community, find the appropriate help or support that they need. And we've got just some amazing people that work on the debt team and our ambassadors. And I really recommend that when people are in Brickell or they're downtown or the Arts District, to engage with them.
Is that a phone number that people call?
There is a phone number, and I can give it to you guys, and you can put it right here on the bottom.
Yeah.
But there's a phone number that you can call if you want a safety walk.
Yeah.
But then they're all throughout downtown. You'll see them.
Right.
I think that
maybe we can do an app.
That's a downtown.
Maybe we can do an app.
That's a downtown.
We got a little app for downtown. Would be great.
Yeah.
I'm shoot for the DDA app.
That's the downtown enhancement team, the debt team.
Yeah.
And they work closely with the Miami PD.
They clean up graffiti. If there is an issue, they are not police officers. But if there is an issue or someone needs help, they will obviously call the police for them, and then they stay to make sure that everything is okay. They are a great connector to our amazing men and women in uniform. And really kind of like a very much a first responder in a way.
Yeah. And they get
some
paid
of
for
those
this.
things. Yeah, of course.
Wow, so you're giving jobs, you're providing jobs too.
We're providing them a job. Again, that's 70 to 90 people that are, provided that opportunity, who were once, homeless.
Listen, I think
That's big time,
I think it's a wonderful idea with that one right now. That some people be afraid or something. You want to walk with somebody, you could just go ahead and hey, I'm here. Okay, I'll walk you guys to the car.
Or if you're,
even though
tourist and you don't know where you're going, they give you directions. If you're looking for the freebie, they can tell you where to go pick up the freebie. If you don't know where you should go on the Metro Mover, they can let you know that as well.
I have to say, shout out to the City of Miami Police Department, because I go to downtown and there's police presence everywhere.
Definitely.
I mean, you feel much, much safer of when I used to know downtown Miami.
The DDA and the police department are, they're one of our great partnerships, and we've put significant amount of dollars into additional cameras for the police and additional funding on even working on some drone applications and different things like that. Because again, holistically, economic development is also about being safe.
100%.
You could have the greatest retail in the world, but if you don't feel safe, no one's going to shop there.
Yeah.
All those things go hand in hand. The graffiti goes hand in hand. Opportunity goes hand in hand. Opportunity for the debt team, for the ambassadors, for people to feel like they have a space and a way to make an impact on the community. We've, been able to provide, again, those 70 plus people an opportunity to really be able to make an impact on the community in which they lived in.
I love it. I mean, DDA is the way to go. DDA, what else you got, brother? Talk to me.
I wanted to ask you, do you have any like DDA success stories? Anybody that comes off the top of your mind that you say, you know what, these came into the program, we cultivated them, and they're doing a good job right now. You want to give a shout out to, or give us a couple of them.
Yeah, so many. I think the one of the first ones that I'll start with, a gentleman by the name of Jaime that owns a gym called Redo Health. I'm really, really big, again, on Miami being the home of longevity, right? And that's just being, in my mind, healthier and living a longer life, right? This is such a beautiful place. I want to be able to enjoy the beach, the fun, and the sun, and the amazing people here as long as I possibly can. He has a gym. He moved here from Spain, and he has a gym that's really focused on health and longevity. But he trains a lot of UFC fighters, soccer players, NBA players. But it's a, unique kind of boutique style gym that opened up in Brickell. He's one of our incentive recipients. We also have, I guess I mentioned, Flagler Vintage, which is a vintage store that's open. That's just an amazing, great store. You really have to go check out.
He was local?
The store. He's local, yeah. Started with $100, maybe even $50. And sold some vintage clothes, and has been doing that online. There's a vintage site or a site where you can sell clothes called Whatnot.
Okay,
and I think he was selling on there, and he's just been able to grow his business to a ground floor retail store. I think Jerk and Mangrove, which is closer to the county offices, which is a great restaurant. Tam Tam, which is
yeah.
Tam Tam, I think is an amazing success story. Opal Vest, which is a startup which we recently brought to the area. They're trying to democratize the investments into hedge funds, right? Typically, to get into a hedge fund, you have to, invest, probably $2 million or more, right? Yeah. And they're really breaking it down to what they call opals, which is about $25,000 a pop.
Finally, I get to get into a hedge fund.
Oh, I mean,
that's wonderful.
Financial services will continue to grow here in Miami, and being able to support, those types of companies is something that we're, really, really interested in. The Bagel Club, which moved from the Wynwood area to downtown. And then, I think 3 Points, David Sinopoli, Jolene, Soundbar, some of the entertainment that we have down. I think there's, a host of great examples of people really.
Nightlife. The nightlife, which is great. I mean, people need to, that's another thing. People didn't have places to go in the nightlife. And I think they're bringing back that also.
Oh, bringing them back, Mode. There's so many places.
Yeah, I remember back then it was the pawn shop and places like that.
And Jolene, so if you think about it,
that doesn't exist anymore.
We mentioned it a little bit, but I think just to kind of, you've got this amazing, beautiful park, right, where Ultra happens and all of those different things leads up to Flagler Street. You've got Julian Henry, you've got Jolene, you've got all of the different bars that are there. But then you've also got the Diamond District, right? And that across the street, they'll open up a 3-story wholesale diamond mall, right? That's going to be amazing. I think, that's really like a hidden gem. A lot of people just drive by that area and you don't realize you see the security guys outside. But what an economic generator that is.
You say, where the hell am I going? You're going to the Sable Building.
Yeah, it's well protected. But the Seabold Building, connecting all of that in the shopping, I think,
And by the way, it's just not one floor. That's like 8 floors.
Yeah, I would love to take a look at that. We got to go take a look at that.
I believe it's my second home.
Yeah.
I love being there.
It's a good spot. There's a the Mediterranean place.
People, best jewelers there.
I have a friend that's looking for a Rolex, so I'll talk to you about it.
That's the only spot to go.
That's the only place. Anything you want to get, that's where you can really barter and say, that guy over there is giving me for X amount. This guy's giving me for that X amount. That's where you could really work there.
Do you guys have anything to do with the fountain that was like rehabilitated or no? Or that's
we support well, yes and no. We support the city in those activities, but the Bayfront Park has the Bayfront Park Trust, and they were the one to put that together. But we support in the events, and then also to bringing people to the park to have a variety of different events, whether that's Rufus de la Soul that was there.
Oh, that was
obviously
amazing.
We support. Continue to get in those inbound calls about people wanting to have events on the street or events in the park, and then connecting those dots and bringing them to the area.
But I was going to ask you, because I remember when F1 was first considering coming to the city, they were going to do it, and they did a trial run in downtown.
Yeah.
Because that's how they do it in
Monaco and all these other places. But people forget, there was the Grand Prix in Miami.
Yeah?
Yes, sir.
How long ago was that?
That was a long time.
Downtown?
That was Grand Prix in downtown, right in front of Bayside.
And they would race right there.
And
huh?
they would race.
I had no idea.
And it was the same thing, and that came because of the original Monte Carlo, and that was brought down here by he already deceased, but that was Ralph Sanchez, and Ralph Sanchez's vision was to do, and it's there. I mean, that was huge. The Miami Grand Prix. That was
I had
a
no
huge,
idea.
huge,
I didn't know about that.
event in Miami.
Yeah.
And then that left. And then now, when they brought the F1, now it's done, there.
But they had done trial runs, and I was at the trial run. It
Yeah.
was extremely loud.
Yeah.
And I guess because they said that the engine of the car is much louder than the Grand Prix car, what I suppose, that wasn't going to happen because of the building of people complaining.
And then I think also too, there are some traffic issues with that, right, and blocking off those streets. I think it would have been really interesting and fun. But I'm also, again, you're talking about amazing entrepreneurs. I'm blown away by the great job that the Hard Rock does and being able to transfer that place into
100%.
F1.
Yes.
Tennis is amazing out there. Again, Miami does events better than any place in the
But
world.
again, I'm biased. I used to like my tennis in Key Biscayne, but that's
yeah.
Yeah.
It's the thing is I just I just love that area.
Yeah, but the thing is that
the traffic was also the traffic
because they tried to move Ultra
right.
Key Biscayne.
But by the way,
and it was a disaster.
Really, the tennis wasn't so much for because of the traffic. The tennis was because it grew.
It got bigger.
It got bigger, and you couldn't go anywhere else in Key Biscayne. When it started, it was great, but you couldn't go any bigger.
I think the beauty, from a business perspective, is Miami being such a destination. We work with a lot of conferences that are looking to have events downtown. And, if you're having a conference and it's in Buffalo, New York, or Miami, and you're a business person in Chicago, which conference are you picking?
You go to Miami.
Yeah.
Exactly.
1,000%.
Yeah.
And so if you're thinking about events, we've worked with UFC over the past couple of years, right?
That was the last one.
The fight before last, there was an Ecuadorian guy from that was in the main card. 16% of the ticket sales were Ecuadorians coming here to watch that fight. And if you really think about that, that's pretty amazing. And from a business perspective,
when we had that, what was that soccer? What was that soccer match recently between Colombia and Argentina?
Oh yeah.
Something cup.
That was last summer.
Something cup. It wasn't
downtown.
was
Copa? Was it Copa America?
Copa America.
Copa America or Mundial.
That the Argentinian Federation was there, and we helped them with that. They had an exhibit there with the Girls Cubs and everything. Amazing.
Well, this is to the same point that we were at the airport recently, and we have a podcast now with our airport director coming up, and
Ralph.
Ralph. And then basically,
he's the man.
Yeah, we were talking about the fans, because we're trying to get everybody's concern regarding the airport and everything that comes in, and people saying the bathrooms are horrible here, this is horrible there, but. So we're going into the airport. We went in. We're going to check out all the places that have been already remodeled, redone. But to your point, everything that's going on, it really just adds to what the conversation we had when we were the other day with him. He says this is nonstop.
Yeah.
Right there, that all the people from Ecuador that came to go see this game. Imagine the airport; it's just 24/7. So what people don't understand is they're trying to fix something, they just can't shut it down because the airport has to continue working.
And the airport, I think, one thing that people don't know is that the airport is the #1 cargo airport in America.
Yes.
So yes, there's a lot of people. But there's packages, food, products. One of the things that we continue to nearshore or onshore products or assets. That's a major opportunity for Miami, for the seaport and for the airport and for all of the businesses here. Logistics is one of the categories in which we really try to work or look for companies in our mid-size program to get them to move here. That as America continues to try to nearshore things, it's a major opportunity for Miami.
100%. But again, it just all adds to the fact of the amount of people that are coming here for everything.
I was curious to get your feedback. It's funny because I've been in Miami my whole life. I'm a Miami guy. And I've never taken like a tour of downtown. I don't really understand the history. He told me Grand Prix. Is there anything that someone can go to? Like, I've never been to a Freedom Tower.
Oh, really?
Is there anything that you guys incentivize people to go out there, like locals to go out there and tour? Or?
We actually, so through some of our programs, right? So that downtown Collaborator grant, in the past, we have supported tour-type programming and given them grant dollars to be able to do that. Commissioner is this amazing arts program that is like crowdsourcing. They basically 40 people get together, they put their money up, and then they fund 4 different artists that are local to Miami to do an art piece, and then it's given to those different members, right? They've done some tours of the art throughout downtown Miami. There's actually some beautiful murals and some of the buildings, right? It's a lot of history within the DDA district and showing some of that. So we continue to support that. I do a host of different, the bus with the roof cut off of it, right?
Yeah.
The
duck tours?
Well, that
Little
doesn't go in the
hot right
water.
now,
Doesn't go in the water, right? It doesn't go in the water, but it drives around. And typically, most of those tours, a lot of the real estate agents and brokers take up a lot of the space for some of those tours because they're always continuing to try to sell this amazing, beautiful skyline, right? But yes, those tours do exist, and I highly recommend you take those. There's also a boat that leaves from the marina right there.
Bayside.
Yeah, and there's a tour, and they take you up the Miami River.
Yeah,
But not even over there, but they take you up the Miami River, right? Which also the development that's going to happen as you think, again, the future of Miami. Miami River holds a lot of opportunities, whether that's Faena and all those different things that are coming there, the Baccarat building. And then, again, the history, oldest human remains ever found in the history of life. Right there, which is, I think, just amazing.
You have the whole area of the Costa.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I saw it. I've never seen that on the news. Whatever happened with that? I didn't see any update on that.
That whole area.
They have over 1 million artifacts that are being stored somewhere, and as that building gets built on the ground floor, they'll have a museum of sorts. And I think right now they're in conversations on, who's going to basically manage and take over, again, 1 million artifacts.
What they found.
But what have they found? Any details, anything? Or
all types of stuff. I mean, there were
tools,
the Success, tools,
bowls, food, not food, but bowls, stuff that they used.
Really amazing.
Yeah. I mean, that was just.
We can't see that yet, right? They're organizing that.
No, there's pictures and stuff online. Gotcha. The museum just hasn't been built yet because it's on the bottom floor of that building. And so once the Baccarat building goes up, on that first floor, there should be a walking path. And so part of this is about connecting those communities and everyone being able to kind of walk the underline will connect to that, and then the under deck and all of that, and you'll be able to walk along there, and there should be a museum, and they've got some renderings of what that'll look like, but it'd be really amazing. And I think connecting that history, we always talk about how Miami is such a young city.
Yes.
Yeah, young to us.
Right.
But
there's history.
There's a lot of
I don't know what the oldest remains, though. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Oh, God, please. I mean, listen, there's I always say that you're missing a lot of opportunities. Everybody wants to go else places. There's a lot of places that now, and I encourage all parents and kids during now this summer break, great places for you to go and do tours within Miami.
Yeah.
You know that, like you said.
The locals miss out.
A lot of people don't even know the history of Vizcaya. Vizcaya has a spectacular, beautiful tour that you can go to. I mean, there's beautiful things that you can really do. Like you said, downtown, all these areas that you can just take these bus tours.
Yeah, for the new people, I always tell them, you have to see the Everglades. You have to go to Homestead and really spend some time. I think people don't realize
another world.
98% of the green beans in America come from Homestead. Wow. If you buy a succulent off of Amazon, it's a 98% chance it came from Homestead.
Listen, the Berry Farms are friends of ours, and we always, the things they've done over there in the Berry Farms is incredible with the line dancing and everything.
What other county in the world can you go to Berry Farms?
Yeah.
Go to Ultra.
Yeah.
And then go eat at a Michelin star restaurant.
It's crazy.
All in the same place.
Yeah. Or go, dance Cuban.
Beach,
or go dance Cuban in Little Havana. Or go to Miami. You have the best beaches right there in Miami Beach, Florida. You have it all here. I mean, listen, I have this conversation with all my kids and everywhere. And we got some interns here, too, that are listening to the conversation. In the sense of like, I want to go away for school. And I have all these friends of mine, clients, and everything go, you know how much my kids would have loved to go to Miami for college? Yeah. And then you have all these kids that go, I want to go over here, I want to go over there. Oh, man, you have the best thing here. This is the best college party town you can live in.
I do want to talk about that a little bit because I think when I very first moved here about 7 years ago from Seattle, one of the things that people talked about a lot when I first got here was brain drain and individuals graduating college and then they would leave and go somewhere else around. And it was really based, I think, in my personal opinion, around wages, right? You were able to go to New York and Atlanta, Chicago.
Money-wise.
But I think in some of the work that the DDA is really trying to do and our partners with the Beacon Council, the city, the county, and everyone else is, Citadel is moving here.
Yes.
Kaseya is here. The industry, they're building a trading floor in Wynwood as industry continues to move here, which I think is really a part of this new Miami and this global business hub. That's going to provide people the opportunity and the jobs. The kid that's going and graduating with an AI degree from Miami Dade College,
100%.
hopefully is going to be able to stay here. Maybe one of the startups that have received some incentive grant funding to be able to work out of one of our co-working space offers them a job, and we really create, our first or second unicorn in Miami that comes from one of those companies that have come here to be able to ideate and grow their idea. And so I think that landscape is drastically changing. And hopefully the individuals that graduate from some of our amazing universities, Miami Dade College, FIU, University of Miami, FMU, and all of that, stay here.
Yeah.
Right? Because we have
even
great
trade
people.
colleges.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I mean, listen, the amount of people with trade colleges now, I mean, it's huge.
It is
I mean,
huge.
we need tradespeople.
We do. I mean, we need a little bit of everything
We
here.
need a little bit of everything.
I think the problem with Miami is that, like, you have, obviously immigration and South Americans that come in, and there's level of degrees you can't compete with, but it's like everyone does it cheaper. There's always like a thing where someone could always do it cheaper, which ends up, lo barato sale caro.
Yeah.
In Spanish, which the cheap stuff ends up being more expensive. But with
In the long run, right?
Yeah.
But
You
with
fix the
these
thing
type
3
of-
times.
Yeah, with these type of trades, AI, it's a little bit different story.
Yeah.
So
Last
here's-
question.
Well, this last question, I'm curious because you go and ask.
You ask it, you ask it, you ask it.
You ask it. That's your question. That's
So
not
I
my
wanted to
question.
ask it. Go.
No, you ask the question, but I'm going to tell him something else after.
All right, go.
Or say,
This
ask.
is the hardest one.
Okay.
All right, and it usually goes and gets the most views. What are your top 3 restaurants in the DDA district?
Okay, but that's it.
Ooh.
Okay, so
And you got to go from 3 to 1.
3 to 1. Okay.
number 3.
Because you always ask what are your top 3 restaurants in Miami, but I thought you were going to say that, and I would say apart from that, you can say what are your go-to places around the DDA district.
Okay. Yeah. The top restaurants.
places.
Yeah. Okay.
Number 3.
Number 3. I'm gonna go number 3, which is new. Maple and Ash.
Oh,
I've
okay,
heard very good things about it.
good.
What do you like about it?
What I like about it is I think that they've done just an amazing job. Shout out to Nitin and everybody at the Miami World Center and what they've been able to really do
I
there.
have not yet gone.
Largest Apple store, ground floor. And I think, there's a saying in wealth management, follow the smart money.
Yes.
The smart money has got to be Apple, right? One of the biggest companies, if not the biggest company in the world. If they make a decision to put their largest ground floor retail store in a certain place, I gotta go check that place out.
Yeah.
Right. And so, I would say Maple and Ash, yes, but that's also all of the restaurants that are in the Miami World Center area. Really giving them a shout out and going to go check those places out.
Okay.
Number two, I'm gonna go. I love a Jamaican patty, so I'm gonna go with jerk.
Ooh.
I think, and I'm gonna put jerk and tam tam together. Tam tam and jerk. I would say go to jerk for lunch, go to tam tam for dinner. But those are 2 places that you really have got to check out.
Okay.
And then number one for the overall variety. Number 1 is a conglomerate, which is going to be Julian Henry. I think that all of the stuff that you have there, no matter what type of food you like, I also am an avid bubble tea drinker. There's a bubble.
way.
Love bubble tea, man.
I think bubble tea
Exactly.
drinker.
Nobody will know that.
Loves it.
Yeah.
I'm not a big fan of it.
Love it. Don't know why, but I love it, man. But there's a bubble tea spot in there, so I check that out often. But also, again, you mentioned the ramen spot.
That's phenomenal. Phenomenal ramen.
There's
I gotta take Miami.
You know what I like
to
the
the
most
ramen
about
spot.
it? They have a big table center area.
Yeah.
That's like empty up. And just family, you just go with your family and hang out there. And they were playing a soccer game, or you go to a football game.
For
Super
the Champions League final.
Yep.
We
Okay.
partnered with again amazing entrepreneurs in Miami. Play, which is a soccer-based app.
I was there.
There was like 500 people.
Yeah, I was
It was
there.
packed. Right, watching the soccer game. We really, I will say this: downtown Miami, the DDA district, is the place for the Club World Cup and the World Cup. If you want to watch soccer with friends and meet new people, come downtown.
That's a good point.
The bars, restaurants, we will
It's the
have the
best place
games
to
on.
watch it.
It's
I've
the
always
best
watched
place
it
to
there with a
watch
group of friends. Yeah,
That's awesome,
always.
man.
It's the best place. MJ, what a treat, man.
Yeah.
And we're so glad you came on the pod. And we hope you come back again because, again, this is important to people to get to know.
Yeah, there's
what
a lot
the
of information.
And you say that, get to know the DDA. My thing is going to be, if you love Miami, come be a part of the DDA. The DDA wants your input. We want you to be a part of the change that we hope to see in the Central Business District, but also connecting the community. This is your DDA as much as it is mine as someone that is employed and worked there. But we have a bunch of different committees. Every one of our meetings is open to the public.
Wow.
Come be involved and engaged. And if you have an amazing idea that you think will bring people out, an event, a party, a conference, a concert, come talk to us. We're here to support. We're here to at least
That's
help
big
you
time.
figure out a way to get it done. If not, sponsoring and putting some dollars into it to make it happen. Again, this is your Miami DDA, and we really want everybody to really be a part of it. As much as the beach is a flag for Miami,
Yes.
the DDA district in downtown is a global flag for Miami.
Yep.
And again, this is your Miami DDA, and we want you all to be a part of it. So please come join us in that effort to continue to make this the greatest place in the world to live, work, and play.
It might be a dumb question, but you don't have to live in the DDA area to be a part of it.
No, of course
Okay,
not.
okay.
Of course not. No, again, it's your, if you live in Homestead, Homestead affects me as much as downtown affects Homestead.
Yes.
We are all in this
Nice.
together.
That's true.
This is your Miami DDA. Come be involved. If you're in Homestead and you want to bring a farmer's market to downtown, I'm all about
Big
that.
time. That's big time.
And I want to have a conversation with
Celebrate
you to
farms.
support that. Yeah. I would love that. If you can bring the cinnamon rolls to downtown, I'm here to support that.
Okay.
man.
All right.
Listen,
We got
the
it.
thing is that this is exactly the information that we see when we distribute on the page that
Yeah.
gets the most shared content,
Yeah.
opportunities like this. So I'm looking forward to seeing what type of influence the episode brings onto you guys. Look, and
We appreciate you guys doing that. I mean, I think that these types of conversations are really important. Getting to know you guys is really,
100%.
really awesome. We look to continue this, and we
We had
maybe
a lot
there's-
in common we didn't know about.
Yeah. Maybe there's a way to bring you guys downtown, but we want,
Love it.
we really appreciate what you guys do. And again, this is everybody working together. I always say that economic development, true, successful economic development cannot be done without massive amounts of partnerships, right?
Oh, 100%.
Everybody that lives here is a partner in this. You guys and this podcast is a partner in this. And Miami has only been changed through the people. It hasn't been changed by some stroke of luck or magic or one business owner or whatever.
Every culture.
Every culture. It's the people that live here. This is your Miami DDA. Come be a part of it. Come continue to transform this entire county, this entire city, the DDA district, into the #1 place in the world, which I think a lot of us believe and know that it already is.
that's good work, man.
Thank you, MJ. Appreciate it, my man.
Thank you guys, man.
Thank you,
Thank
MJ.
you.
That was impressive.
Okay.